Sony just launched its new XM6 headphones, and they're giving Apple's aging AirPods Max some serious competition. Let's talk about it. Real quick, if you want to keep up to date with the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. So Apple released the current version of AirPods Max with USB-C in September of 2024. Sony, in May of 2025, released its latest WH-1000XM6 headphones, commonly just called the XM6. They are both best in class, so let's compare them and see if Apple's AirPods Max are still worth it, or maybe the new Sonys take the title. AirPods Max have the same design that they have had since they were released. They're largely stainless steel, wrapped in rubber with this soft mesh top. There's a mesh textile covered foam removable ear cups, and the ear cups rotate, though they don't, fold up. They don't collapse. They can fold flat, but they won't actually collapse in or anything. Sony, on the other hand, has a much lighter design that does use some plastic in the mix. So better or worse there, whichever one you prefer. Heavier, nicer materials, or lighter, but probably cheaper feeling materials. The new model has a wider headband covered in a synthetic leather, and the rest has kind of like a stretchy-like material. Many people will actually be thrilled because Sony resorted back. The XM6 can finally fold again. Now, personally, I prefer when headphones fold like this. I have the AirPods Max here. I have a few Master and Dynamic pairs, the Sonos Ace, but it's easier to fit any of these in my bag when they fold like this. That's going to be personal preference, but that's just my opinion here after trying a bunch of different headphones. AirPods Max come in midnight, starlight, purple, blue, and orange. The XM6 come in basically black, light gray or white, and navy. Let me know which of these colors most appeals to you down in the comments, or is there colors that they don't do that you'd like to see? Put up your vote. For controls, Apple has the digital crown and a single button for noise control. Press the digital crown to control playback and rotate it for volume. Pressing the noise control button moves between ANC and transparency modes. Sony has a more traditional large power button with a small button used to control the ANC mode. Even though AirPods Max are fairly new, they don't have all the features Apple has on their other headphones. For example, shaking or nodding your head to answer calls, that works on AirPods Pro as well as the XM6. By the way, if you're interested in all the new features Apple's been adding to AirPods Pro, check out the video that I've linked here, which covers the biggest update Apple's done yet. For battery and power, both of these are using USB-C, naturally. Sony also tacks on a headphone jack though. Apple does now support wired playback and lossless audio over USB-C, but you have to buy an additional USB-C adapter, basically the digital audio converter, to pull that off. It's kind of nice if you're looking for wired playback that you can just use a headphone jack on the Sonys. For AirPods Max, you'll get 20 hours of playback time with ANC on, while Sony is promising 30 hours. Both are pretty dang impressive and should get you through a long weekend trip without charging. But I think I charge enough to not worry about it, at least above a certain threshold. If you want the longest possible battery life, you have to go with the Sonys, but I use the AirPods Max a whole lot and I never run out of battery. They just always seem to be charged enough. I think it's time to get into the audio quality. I love the iPhone, iPad, and Mac, but I've been on a huge wearable kick recently. I can't stop using my Apple Vision Pro. I'm testing different smart rings, and at CES, I got to try out my first neck air conditioner, which frankly I had no idea existed. As someone who does a lot of work outside in the sun, I'm obsessed. My sponsor, Ranvoo, has recently launched the Ace Light Plus. 2024 was the hottest year on record, And according to Ranvoo, in high temps, over 95 degrees, regular fans can just circulate more hot air. Ranvoo even claims that Ace Lite Plus boasts the largest cooling area available on the market. That works by cooling your carotid artery, lowering your core body temperature. Its temperature drops by 36 degrees in just 1 second, and it's comfortable enough to wear all day with upper and lower vents. Control it through the buttons here on the side, the companion app, or let it control itself thanks to the AI mode that adjusts on the fly. Do yourself a favor and chill this summer with the Ranvoo Ace Lite Plus. All this yard work is going to be so much easier this year. Learn more at the link in the description. Okay, so when it comes to audio, Apple is using its own custom 40mm drivers. Sony is using its own custom 30mm drivers. Its size doesn't matter here, but I think it will play a part. I'm sure some people will call this fanboyism, but I like the AirPods Max sound better. The biggest part is it comes off as a larger soundstage. Just the audio is bigger and pulls you in more. The mids are also clear, which is very important to me. I'm not huge into like the bass heavy stuff, so the mids are very important, and they seem clear on the AirPods Max and overall sound more true to life, especially with music that has instruments coming through instead of a lot of digital modern stuff. That soundstage though, that is also really important to me versus kind of smaller and coming out of a headphone. Honestly, it's crazy how well the AirPods Max hold up after all of these years. Like literally without it just changed to like the drivers or anything, these are still basically the OG versions and they're still doing really, really well in these head-to-heads with other very popular headphones. The ANC is also better on AirPods Max by a hair. Maybe it's the additional mics that Apple has, or maybe Apple's custom H1 chip doing the processing, or maybe it's just the larger drivers. Whatever it is, I still give Apple the win for audio quality and noise cancellation. If you're looking for the best noise cancellation though, it's probably the Bose Quiet Comforts. Those are pretty great. While some may stop this video right now at audio quality and call it, both of these are top tier headphones. So this is, we're still talking about very good on both of these. So I don't think audio quality is the end of the comparison here by any means. For one thing, Sony has a whole dedicated app, which I find helpful. You can fine tune a lot of the details. I frankly wish Apple would have just done an AirPods app at this point instead of making you dig through settings each time. They also have true multi-point Bluetooth with the ability to connect to 2 devices simultaneously, and they're Bluetooth LE ready, which could be helpful in the future. Apple's biggest benefits all stem from the Apple ecosystem. It will quickly switch devices for you automatically as you move between iPhone, iPad to Mac. It even gives you like automatic switching to Apple TV if you want to. Apple also does a great job with the spatial head tracking as well for spatial audio. Finally, Apple offers just such tight integration. You can see the battery in the battery widget, easily talk to Apple's assistant, and you can share audio with other AirPods users. If you are in the Apple ecosystem and debating between these 2 sets of headphones, I'd suggest AirPods Max. Though we have to talk about the price. See, the XM6 will run you $449, full MSRP, while AirPods Max are $549, $100 more. That said, AirPods Max are constantly on sale. Right now, when I made this video, they're at $480, greatly diminishing that price delta between the two. So again, on sale, I vote AirPods Max. But don't think I'm just siding with Apple here. The XM6 are for sure more comfortable. I love that they fold and they have like a real case at the same time. This thing is super cool. It's like a fabric on the outside. There's like this little clasp and a carrying cable. Do I need to bust out Apple's case here and remind everyone of that? I don't hate Apple's case like others do, but it's just not a full case. I'd rather just toss them in my bag. It doesn't even protect the top, which I feel like is like the most vulnerable part of this. Personally, I think I'd still lean Sono Ace overall right now. They've been my favorite ones to wear even over these XM6. What will be interesting is Apple's finally working on a new version of AirPods Max that will get redesigned and be lighter. That would fix the biggest problem with these headphones. That, though, isn't in the cards until 2027. So until then, maybe we'll just stick with the USB-C model. Let me know which of these are your favorites down below in the comments. If you want to pick up either of them, including the current deals on AirPods Max, grab them at the links in the description. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys all next time.